This happened just a few years ago. I am the receptionist at the hotel. You usually have a lot of graduation parties here because our hotel has a big hall. In order to enter the party hall, you have to go through the reception area first. That night, we had a graduation party. All the students and teachers were in the hall. They were dancing. All the photos were taken, and there was no one around the reception desk. A little later, someone came to my desk. I looked and saw a tall man standing there. His face had 3 razors, and his gelled hair was tied back. He was wearing an old suit, and he was very dirty and tense with a pair of Adidas shoes. His eyes seemed to have popped out of their sockets. Then he said, "I came to go to his first graduation party." I thought he was joking, but his expression was very serious and he was staring at me like that. I said, "You work for this school?" He said, "No, I am a student here." I still thought he was joking. At least he thought he was 40 years old. And at the time he said he was a high school kid. So I asked him how old he is. He said, "I am 17 years old." "No, I am 16 years old." "Yes, that's right. 16 years old." I thought maybe something. I said, "I'm sorry, but you can't be 16 years old at all." He didn't say anything. He just stared at me with those eyes of the target. Then he bent over my table. "Let's make a bet." I have a big knife in my pocket. If I wasn't 16 years old, cut my finger. But if you were 16 years old, then I would have taken your finger. I didn't even have a chance to say anything because he left by the time he finished speaking. I told my boss about it, and he told me when he came back, tell me to make a bet and show him. My shift ended at 12 p.m. and I left. On the side of my car, there was an envelope under the windshield wiper. It was written as a condition of the police. I opened the envelope and saw a finger in it. Something told me that it was not his finger because the skin color was different. I never saw that man again. But I still wonder why he had that at night. He wanted to come to graduation party. I am 16 years old. I went to New Jersey to go to my aunt's house. I am very similar to my aunt's daughter. Her name is Kate Kid. She is 3 years older. My aunt and her husband were both working in Manhattan. One day they decided to go to party after work. Throughout the day, Kate and I went to a house of a friend of ours who had a swimming pool in his blood. We swam all day. It was around 4 p.m. when we returned home. The weather was still on. Suddenly, Kate's phone turned off and it stopped working. Don't worry, my phone is also new. We had fun outside for another hour. I picked up my phone to call my aunt, but my phone didn't work anymore. We took out the battery and put it back in, but it still didn't turn on. In short, we went to my aunt's house without calling. It was around 5 in the evening. My grand-aunt's daughter Julie was gone. There was a party at one of his friend's house, so we were completely alone. We pushed the sofa together to sleep together. We were both very tired and ready to sleep. We were alone at home, so it was normal for us to sleep together. We heard a loud bang from inside Katie's room. We got up and checked Katie's room, but nothing had fallen. We came back and slept in the hall. About 2 hours later, we heard the same sound from the room again. We went back and checked. but nothing had fallen. When we heard the same sound from the room again for the third time, we were scared. We stood on both sides of the door like policemen. And then we entered the room together. But again nothing had moved. My aunt, these are back. But if it was them, you would have heard their voices. Our car was not inside. We were very scared. We went to the kitchen with fear, took a knife and sat there. Nothing happened. We fell asleep. We woke up with the sound of a girl screaming for help. We were very scared because of this. We saw another shadow next to the previous one. We were sleepy enough. We didn't care about all these things. We slept again about an hour later. We woke up again. But this time we were very tired with the sound of the ambulance and police sirens coming from outside. So we will sleep again early in the morning. When we returned home, we were sleeping when another loud noise came from Katie's room. He went to the basement and came back with an iron club in his hand. He was ready to defend us. It didn't happen. We knew it was an illusion because even my aunt heard her voice. We never understood what really happened that night. The next morning, when did my phone ring again? After that day, I hated my aunt's house. I think they were possessed by blood. Or maybe that night, someone asked to break the door and enter the house because he saw a public car. And since then I never went to my aunt's house. At 10:30 storm ended and I thanked the seller and went to my car and drove away. I drove in silence for a while. But then I heard a sound like heavy breathing. My heart rate went up because of fear. I was sweating. It was familiar and I looked very close from the mirror and I screamed. The man was sitting behind my car in the store. I pressed my foot on the brake and jumped out of the car and ran away. He was running behind me and shouting. The road was empty. I was disappointed because that meant I was faster. I just turned my head once and saw that he was running like a young man and he had a knife in his hand. My life was in danger. I saw him after passing the lights of a car. I waved my hand at him and yelled, "God protect you." I saw that he was my friend because he had seen that I was late. So I was worried and he had followed me. I looked behind me and saw that the man had gone to my friend, told me everything, and called the police, and they also went to my car together after arriving and saw the back seat torn with a knife. The police could not find the man. The police have not been able to find that man until today. What will happen to me if my friend does not come after me?